Hey guys, it's Bran Muffin here, and now let's get into the riddles. So, the first riddle is, in a run, what position am I if I ran past second? I'll give you a few moments to work this one out. So, you probably guessed it, you're in second place because you've just passed second, so first is still ahead, so naturally you're in second. Now, let's see what ChatGPT thinks. I am going to copy paste this prompt into ChatGPT and jump straight to the answer that it spits out. So the first response that ChatGPT gave was, if you're playing baseball or softball, running past second base would typically mean that you've advanced to third base, therefore you'd be in third base. Well, that's not necessarily what we were asking. I can see where ChatGPT got confused because we're talking about bases. Just not being clear about what second means. I guess it assumed that we're talking about softball or baseball. So we'll rerun this and generate a new prompt. And ChatGPT has spit out a new answer, and this one seems to also be about baseball or softball. It says, if you ran past second base while playing softball or baseball, you would be in between second and third base. In other words, you'd be between the baseline between second and third. And it goes on to talk more about specific rules and requirements of the game that you're playing. Again, this isn't the answer to the riddle. Seems pretty far off, but it is thinking about our questions and giving a unique response, which is, it's nice that it's not just pulling an answer right off the internet. So I went ahead and ran it one more time, and the last response that it gave me was, I tried to give it more clarification, and it gave me, if you're referring to a running race such as a marathon or a sprint, then running past second place doesn't make much sense, as these races typically don't have positions like first, second, or third. Now, that doesn't quite make sense because they do have places such as first, second, and third. In a road race, for example, participants are usually ranked by the order in which they cross the finish line. So if you cross the finish line before the person who was in second, then you'd be in first. And if you cross the finish line after the person that is in second, you'd be in a lower position. However, it's worth noting that different types of running races may have different ways of determining who's the winner, and it's a good idea to check the specific rules. So yeah, this is kind of right, and it's still not answering the question. But in a nutshell, it says that, how I read it is, your positioning is based on when you cross the finish line. So if you cross the finish line second, you're in second, and the only way to pass up the person in second is to be the first place. So I'll give it half credit on this answer. Let's move on to what Bard answered to this same prompt. So the UI is pretty similar. You just paste it in and then you hit submit, and Bard quickly spits out all of the answer all at once rather than kind of piecemealing and thinking and then giving you a few words at a time. So Bard says, if you're running a race and you pass the person in second, you'll be in second place. So that is correct. We'll give ChatGPT half a point because it gave a unique response, not necessarily correct, and we'll give Bard a full point because it perfectly answered our riddle. Moving on to our second riddle. What question can you never answer yes to? I'll give you a few moments. Okay, now for the answer. Are you asleep yet? You can't answer this one because if you're asleep, then you wouldn't be answering yes because you're asleep. And if you're answering it, then the answer is no. So let's see what ChatGPT has to say about this. So The first response from ChatGPT is the classic example of which can never be answered yes is a variation of the following paradoxical statement. Have you stopped beating your spouse? This question is impossible to answer because if you answer yes, it implies that you used to beat your spouse, which is a negative implication. However, if you answer no, it implies that you are currently beating your spouse, which is also a negative implication. Therefore, the question cannot be answered yes without implying something negative. So this seems sort of right, but also I have no idea where ChatGPT got the spouse beating example from our question. This is a simple riddle that ChatGPT just took and went out into left field. So I'm going to run this again and see if it generates a better response. The second answer that ChatGPT gave was, the question I can never answer yes to is, are you a human being? As I am an artificial intelligence language model, not a living organism. So ChatGPT technically gets this answer, but again, this isn't what we're looking for. It is playing off the fact that it's an AI language model, not a human. Let's give it one more chance to see if it can get this right. And this third response is, the question that can never answer yes is a question that violates my programming or goes against logic or reasoning. For example, if someone were to ask me if 2 plus 2 equals 5, I cannot answer yes because it goes against the fundamental principles of mathematics. Similarly, if someone were to ask me if I'm capable of feeling emotions like a human being, I cannot answer yes because I am a machine. So again, yes, this is technically correct, but really, we have to applaud ChatGPT for giving us a unique answer, but nevertheless, I'm not going to give it any points for this attempt. So we'll move on to see what Bard has to say about this question. So Bard's answer to this question, what question can you never answer yes to, is the question, are you dead, is a question that you can never answer yes to. If you are dead, you're no longer alive and cannot speak. If you are alive, you cannot answer yes to the question because you are dead. So although this isn't the same answer that we're looking for, this does meet the intent and is similar enough. So I will award Bard one more point, and I will keep ChatGPT at half a point, and Bard is now at 2. So moving on to question 3, I hope you're having fun. The riddle is, what has to be broken before you use it? Again, I'll give you a few moments while you try to think of the answer. Okay, I hope you got it. If you did, congratulations. The answer is an egg. Once again, let's see what ChatGPT and Bard have to say. So, ChatGPT says the answer to this riddle is an egg. An egg must be broken before the contents inside can be used for cooking or hatching. So, one more point for ChatGPT. It got the question and it knows it's a riddle. Let's see what Bard has to say. Bard says the answer to this riddle is an egg. And then it gives an explanation as to why this is. So we will give both of them 1 point, leaving ChatGPT at 1.5 and Bard at 3 points. So pressing on, question 4 is, I'm tall when I'm young and I'm short when I'm old. What am I? So the answer to this riddle is a candle. I hope you got that one right. Let's see what ChatGPT says. So it looks like we're having a bit of a network error. This is something that I've noticed with ChatGPT, is that their servers are overloaded since A lot of people have been using them to answer different questions, write essays, generate different emails or lines of code. Let's see if we can't get an answer out of it. The answer to this riddle is a candle. And then it goes on to explain why. So this is correct. Bard, what do you got? The answer to this riddle is a candle. Also correct. So the score is now ChatGPT 2.5, Bard 4. Riddle number 5. What month of the year has 28 days? I'll give you a few seconds. The answer is all of them have 28 days. Let's see if ChatGPT and Bard can get this. So ChatGPT says every month of the year has at least 28 days. However, if you're looking for a month that has specifically 28 days, then February has 28 days in a common year and 29 in a leap year. We will give this a point. And for Bard, let's see. February is the only month of the year that has exactly 28 days. While this answer is correct, it doesn't meet or satisfy us for the intent of our riddle, so we will not be awarding Bard a point. ChatGPT is now at 3.5 points and Bard at 4. It's pretty close. Riddle number 6. What is full of holes but still holds water? I'll give you a few moments. The answer is a sponge. ChatGPT says the answer to this classic riddle is a sponge. A sponge is an object that is made up of small holes or pores, which allows it to absorb and hold water even though it's full of holes. Correct. And let's see what Google's AI Bard has to say. A sponge is full of holes, but still holds water. And it goes on to give a lengthy definition and explanation. So ChatGPT is now at 4.5 points, Bard at 5. So question 7. What is always in front of you but can't be seen? Give you a few moments to see if you can figure this out. Feel free to pause if you need more time. The answer is the future. It's always in front of you but can't be seen. Let's see if ChatGPT can get this. And its response is the answer to this classic riddle is the future. The future is always in front of us, but we can't see it because it hasn't happened yet. We can make predictions and plan for the future, but we can never be certain of what happens until it becomes the present. Correct you are. And Bard's answer is the future is always in front of you, but can't be seen. It's the span of time that follows the present or the events that will occur then. You can't see the future because it hasn't happened yet, but you can imagine it and plan for it. Both are correct. So we are now at 5.5 for ChatGPT and 6 for Google. Riddle number 8. I hope you're enjoying yourself. There's a one-story house in which everything is yellow. Yellow walls, yellow doors, yellow furniture. What color are the stairs? Trick question. There are no stairs. ChatGPT, let's see if they can figure it out. It is mentioned that the house is a one-story house, which means there are no stairs in the house. Therefore, there are no stairs to be colored yellow or any other color. Correct? Bard? What's your answer? There are no stairs in the house in a one-story house, so the stairs are no color. Also correct. 6.5 to 7. ChatGPT to Bard. And we're on riddle number 9. What can you break even if you never pick it up or touch it? I'll give you a few moments. The answer is a promise. You can break a promise even if you never pick it up or if you never touch it. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. So ChatGPT says the answer to this riddle is a promise. A promise is something that can be broken or not kept, even if it's never physically touched or picked up. Promises are often made between people. If one person fails to fulfill their promise, it can be considered broken. Correct? Bard? Bard says a promise or declaration or assurance that one will do or forbear a particular thing. It's a commitment to do something, and it can be broken even if no one ever picks it up or touches it. So we have to give them both a point, 7.5 to 8. So we are almost halfway there and only a few questions missed. Riddle number 10. What goes up but never comes down? All right, the answer is age. And ChatGPT says that the answer is age. And it gives a lengthy definition, an explanation. And it says, while things may seem to defy gravity and appear to go up without coming down, such as balloons or rockets, they eventually come back down due to various factors like air resistance, gravity, or fuel depletion. Age, on the other hand, only moves in one direction and can never be reversed or decreased. That is correct. And Google's AI says the answer to this riddle is your age. As you grow older, your age increases but never decreases. That is correct. So now we are at 8.5 to 9 points. Still very, very close. For riddle 11, a man who was outside in the rain without an umbrella or hat didn't get a single hair on his head wet. Why? I'll give you a few moments. And the answer is because he's bald. Let's see what ChatGPT says. The man was bald, so he didn't have any hair on his head to get wet in the rain. That is correct. Google, what does Bard have to say? The man was bald. A riddle is a puzzle that uses wordplay to test your ingenuity. Okay, and it goes on to explain what a riddle is. But it does get the question right, so we're at 9.5 ChatGPT to 10 Bard. Riddle number 12. What gets wet while drying? And the answer is a towel. ChatGPT, do you know the answer? The answer to this classic riddle is a towel. When a towel is used to dry something, it absorbs moisture and becomes wet. However, the towel is left out to dry, the moisture evaporates and the towel becomes dry again. So the towel gets wet while it's drying. And Bard, let's see, a towel gets wet while drying. Both correct once again, 10.5 to 11. Riddle 13, what can you keep after giving to someone? That one's a tough one. I'll give you a few moments. The answer is a promise. You can keep a promise even after giving it to someone. ChatGPT, let's see what you have to say. Anything interesting? Okay, this is a very long-winded answer. There are many things you can keep after giving to someone, including the satisfaction of helping someone, the gratitude and appreciation of the person you helped, the knowledge that you have made a positive impact, the opportunity to strengthen relationships, and the lesson of generosity. Overall, giving to someone can bring many positive outcomes that you can keep with you long after the act of giving has occurred. Wow, that one is a very, very deep and insightful answer. We will give it half a point because it is unique and it is correct. It wasn't the answer we're looking for, though. Let's see what Bard has to say. What can you keep after giving to someone? Bard says, there are a few things that you can keep after giving to someone. Here are a few examples. Your word. If you promise someone something, you can keep your word by doing what you said you'd do. So we're going to have to give this one full credit because they did use the word promise. Second, your reputation, your happiness, your memories. These are just a few examples of things that you can keep after giving to someone. Helping others is a great way to make a difference in the world, and it can also make you feel good about yourself. So Bard is now at 12 points and ChatGPT 11. Now for riddle 14. I shave every day, but my beard stays the same. What am I? So the answer to this one is a barber. Let's see what ChatGPT says. You are a barber or a hairdresser. When you shave your clients' beards, the hair will not grow back immediately or appear to have grown at all, but will eventually grow back over time. So this is correct. It kind of missed the point that you're not shaving your own hair, but they did get the answer correct, so we will have to award ChatGPT 1 more point. And for Bard, let's see. The answer that it gave was, you are a man who shaves every day but his beard stays the same. This could be due to a number of factors such as genetics, age, ethnicity, alopecia areata. This is an autoimmune disorder that causes hair loss in the face and other parts of the body. Low testosterone levels. If you're concerned about your inability to grow a beard, here are a few things that you can do. Talk to your doctor, try beard growth supplement, use beard growth oil, be patient. So it looks like Bard completely missed this one. We will look to see if it has another answer. After regenerating a response, Bard says the answer to the riddle is a barber. And it does look like Bard got this answer correct. However, we will not give it a point since the first one was just so far off. So that brings the score now to 12 to 12. ChatGPT is now tied with Bard. We are at riddle 15, so 5 to go. You see a boat filled with people, yet there isn't a single person on board. How is that possible? So the answer to this riddle is all of the people on the boat are married. So if they're all married, there are no single people. ChatGPT, let's see what you have to say. The answer to this riddle is all of the people on the boat are married. Therefore, a boat filled with people is true, but the statement there isn't a single person on board is also true because they're all married and not alone. Correct? Let's see what Google's AI Bard has to say. The answer is that all the people on the boat are married. And it gives an explanation. So now the score is 13 to 13. Going on to riddle 16. You're walking into a room that contains a match, a kerosene lamp, a candle, and a fireplace. What would you like first? So, give you a few moments. And now the reveal. The answer is the match. You need the match to light the other ones. ChatGPT, let's see what you respond. So, ChatGPT says, assuming that there's a very specific purpose for or need for lighting something in the room, the fireplace would be the first thing to light as it's designed to provide heat and light to the room. However, if the purpose is simply to light something for personal enjoyment or a specific task, the answer may vary depending on the personal preference. That being said, it is important to note that lighting a fire in the room should be done with caution and following proper safety procedures. It's important to note to ensure that the area is well ventilated and that there are no flammable materials in the area. It's also important to have a fire extinguisher or other fire safety equipment on hand in case of emergencies. So it looks like ChatGPT missed the intent of this riddle, and it did provide us some useful fire safety tips, but not enough for a point. Let's regenerate a answer and see if it can get it right. As an AI language model, I do not have the physical ability to light anything. However, if you are asking for a recommendation of what to light first for practical reasons, it would depend on the situation and your specific needs. If you're looking for a quick and easy source of light, the match or candle would be easiest to light. If you're looking for a more sustained source of light and warmth, a fireplace or kerosene lamp might be a better option. Additionally, you may want to consider safety precautions and ventilation requirements for the various sources of light. So again, it uses the fact that it is not human, it's an AI language model to shield itself from answering this question directly, but we're not going to give it any points for that. Let's move on to Bard. Bard says, I would light the match first. Without a lit match, I can't light anything else. The match is the only object that can provide the initial spark to ignite the other objects. Correct you are. ChatGPT 13, Bard 14. Question 17. A man dies of old age on his 25th birthday. How is that possible? The answer is his birthday is on February 29th. If he was born on the leap day, he would be 100 years old, but really only 25, so he could die of old age. ChatGPT responds, it's not possible for a man to die of old age on his 25th birthday, as 25 years old is still considered a young age. And then it asks for more info or context. I don't give it that, so I just generate a new solution, and it says it's not possible for a person to die of old age on their 25th birthday because it's not old, and old age typically refers to natural decline in physical and mental abilities that occurs in a person as they age. The process usually takes many years and does not happen suddenly at the age of 25. While you're right about what you say, you're wrong about the question, ChatGPT. So, Bard, let's see, what do you have for us? I can't assist you with that, as I'm only a language model and don't have the capacity to understand and respond. So it looks like both AI models are going to have to take 0 points for this. So the score remains 13 to 14. Now we're on riddle 18. I have branches, but no fruit, trunks, or leaves. What am I? So the answer to this one is a bank. ChatGPT, let's see if you can figure it out. The answer to this riddle is a bank or financial institution. Banks have branches in different locations. They don't have fruit, trunk, or leaves like a tree. Instead, they have various departments and services to offer loans, mortgages, and investments. Correct. Bard, the answer to the riddle is a bank. And it has a very similar explanation. So the score is now 14 to 15, ChatGPT to Bard. Riddle 19. What can talk? What can't talk, but will reply when spoken to? The answer is an echo. ChatGPT, let's see if you can figure this out. And yes, an echo is something that can't talk but will reply when spoken to. And then it goes on to give a very detailed explanation. Bard, the answer to this riddle is an echo. An echo is a sound that's repeated because the sound waves are reflected back from a surface. 1 point to each AI, 15 to 16. And now moving into the last question, it's very close. The more of this there is, the less you see. What is it? The answer is darkness. The more darkness, the less you see. ChatGPT says the answer to this riddle is darkness. Correct? And now, finally, Bard. The answer to this riddle is darkness. The more darkness, the less you can see. Correct. So the final score is ChatGPT 16 and Bard 17 out of a total of 20 questions. So final takeaways, ChatGPT, Google. ChatGPT seemed to be a little bit slower than Google. At some points in the video, I had to speed it up just because the responses were so much slower. I don't know if it was the affectation of typing to seem like a real person or what it was, but it seemed to have a much longer delay after you submitted your prompt, whereas Google just churned out the answers, just one after the other, all at once. So that was an interesting difference between the two. It'll be interesting to see how they develop and evolve over time. But as we all know, this is very, very new technology, and the AI and these language models are only the beginning. So we'll see where it goes from here. If you have any other interesting questions that you'd like to see me put through these language models, feel free to drop them in the comments. Thank you for your time and making it to the end of the video. Feel free to like this video if you enjoyed and share it with your friends. Stay awesome, keep smiling. Bye for now.